We live in a world where words are weapons, and yet most fail to recognize the subtle traps hidden within them. There are those among us who speak with deceit, not out of ignorance, but out of deliberate intent, to manipulate, to bend reality, and to steal our peace. A single question from such a person can unravel the strong mind of even the most disciplined. But we, who strive for mastery over our own minds, can see through these veils. Consider the question, are you sure you remember that correctly? At first glance, it seems harmless, even curious, but its purpose is insidious. It plants doubt, whispers uncertainty into the calm of our reason. Seneca, in his letters, warns us that the mind unsettled is fertile ground for misfortune. The liar does not seek truth. They seek leverage. We, however, understand that our perception is ours to govern, and no external voice can dictate our certainty if we do not allow it. Another question often wielded is, why are you so sensitive about that? Here lies a trap wrapped in mockery. It is an attempt to shame us, to make our natural caution seem like weakness. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that the opinion of others is not ours to bear. If we allow such words to wound us, we grant power to those who deserve none. The Stoic does not react with anger, for anger is the poison that destroys the mind's fortitude. We respond with silence, with observation, with the quiet knowledge that truth cannot be eroded by deception. And then there is the classic, do you really think that? The question designed to destabilize, to make us question our own judgment. It is an assault on our confidence, a challenge to our reason. Epictetus teaches that what belongs to others is their own, and their attempts to sway us are external, indifferent. We are not bound to answer every provocation. Instead, we remain grounded, anchored in rational thought and self-control. We must also recognize the question that feigns care. Are you sure this is what you want? Manipulation cloaked in concern can be the most dangerous. It appeals to our desire for guidance, our inclination to doubt ourselves. But the Stoic mind discerns the intent behind the words. Our desires, our choices, and our clarity come from within. To relinquish them to the whims of another is to surrender the very essence of freedom. In every question liars ask, there is a pattern. It seeks to create chaos in our reason, to stir emotions we have trained ourselves to master. The path to invincibility, however, lies not in confrontation, but in restraint. We do not attack. We do not justify. We do not engage in the games of those who cannot govern themselves. Instead, we observe, we remain centered, and we allow the emptiness of their deceit to expose itself. Let this be our law. Questions may come, words may wound, and illusions may tempt, but we control the response. We are the guardians of our own minds. We answer only when truth demands it, and we remain silent when the mind is being tested for weakness. In this, the liar loses every advantage, and we remain unshaken, unbroken, and unyielding. There is a second question liars often ask, more subtle than the first, yet more insidious because it attacks the foundations of our values. Why are you so sensitive about that? At first, it appears almost innocuous, even flattering. They frame it as concern, as curiosity, as a gentle probe into our character. But we, who have walked the shadowed halls of reason, recognize it immediately for what it is, a trap. A liar does not ask this to understand. They ask it to unsettle, to stir the waters of our mind, to awaken shame, anger, or self-doubt. Destructive emotions that we have sworn never to feed. The Stoics understood that emotions are not merely reactions. They are judgments. Epictetus taught us, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Enchiridion 5. The liar hopes that we will mistake their provocation for truth, that we will see our sensitivity as weakness. But here, we must be relentless. We must see the world through the eyes of reason and recognize that sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a measure of our values, our judgment, and our capacity to discern what is worthy of our attention. When this question is asked, we feel the subtle tug of instinct. Our pride whispers that we must defend ourselves. Our shame urges silence, a secret collapse within. Yet the path of fortitude demands another course. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. Meditations 8.47. In this moment, the liar offers not reality, but an invitation to project weakness onto our own character. To accept the bait is to surrender the fortress of our mind. To resist is to stand firm in sovereignty. We are not naive in this resistance. The liar is clever because they understand human nature. They know that pride, shame, and fear are the easiest levers to manipulate. They understand that most people, when confronted with the suggestion of fault, will tremble, explain, apologize, even if they have done nothing wrong. But we, who have committed ourselves to self-mastery, do not act from impulse. We act from reason. Silence is our first weapon. Calm observation, our shield. Consider this. A manipulator asks, "Why are you so sensitive?" We could argue, defend, justify, but in doing so, we feed the fire they seek to ignite. We hand them the chaos of our mind like a gift. Instead, we pause. We reflect. We acknowledge internally that their words are an attempt to provoke, but they cannot compel us. Seneca taught, "No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by hope." Letters to Lucilius 2. Here, the hope is the expectation that their question should have power over us. We crush that hope. We deny it. In resisting, we are doing more than simply evading manipulation. We are training our inner fortress. Each challenge, each carefully placed question designed to provoke, is an opportunity to exercise discipline. We test our patience. We measure our judgment. We refine our capacity to act only in accordance with virtue, not impulse. Musonius Rufus emphasized the importance of habitual practice in virtue. The good man, through constant training, becomes steadfast, and his character is no longer swayed by fortune or by the opinions of others. Lectures 6. This is our path. To remain unmoved, unprovoked, and true to ourselves is to embody the highest studying of Stoicism, mastery of the inner citadel. There is also a deeper lesson here. The question is never truly about us. It is about the liar, their own weakness, their fear, and their need to dominate or unsettle. When we recognize this, the power shifts. The moment we understand that their words reveal their character more than ours, we reclaim our center. The external chaos may still attempt to press upon us, but it is powerless to touch the mind that has learned to distinguish between what is within its control and what is not. As Epictetus reminds us, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Enchiridion 1. And so, when faced with the question, we do not flinch. We do not justify. We do not apologize for the natural alignment of our values, nor for the depth of our perception. We answer, if we must, with calm clarity. Or we answer not at all. Our silence is not weakness. It is deliberate strength. It is a declaration that we are governed not by the provocations of others, but by the laws of our own reason. We must see this struggle as sacred. Each encounter with a manipulative mind, each whispered insinuation, each question meant to unsettle, is a test of our discipline. It is the arena in which we prove ourselves to ourselves. The world will continue to challenge us, for deceit and manipulation are as old as human nature. But we, who have chosen the Stoic path, do not stumble. We do not falter. We do not allow the fleeting shadows of human cunning to touch the unbreakable core of our character. Let us carry this truth with us, that sensitivity is not a weakness, that the liar's question is not a judgment, and that every provocation is an opportunity to strengthen the mind. Let us train ourselves to see beneath the surface, to recognize the intentions of others without allowing their designs to touch our calm. In this, we are not only practitioners of self-control, we are warriors of the inner life, sculptors of our own fortitude, and guardians of a mind that cannot be swayed by the chaos of deceit. The liar seeks to disturb. We seek to remain undisturbed. They seek to ignite destructive emotions. We seek to master them, and in mastering them, we achieve a freedom that the world cannot take from us. A freedom deeper, darker, and more profound than any fleeting victory over another. We become, in the words of Marcus Aurelius, unshakable in all conditions, untouched by the storms of fortune, and sovereign over ourselves. Meditations 6:30. This is our path. This is our vow. The question is asked, the test is set, and we stand unmoved, unwavering, unbroken. There is a third question liars ask, a question far more subtle than the first two, and far more dangerous because it strikes at the heart of our perception of reality. It is not loud, it is not confrontational, yet it possesses a quiet venom that can seep into the mind like a slow poison. Do you really think you understand this? On the surface, it may sound like curiosity or a challenge meant to provoke thought, but beneath it lies intent, a deliberate attempt to destabilize, to plant doubt, and to awaken the most destructive of human reactions, insecurity. Liars understand that reason and knowledge are often the pillars of our confidence. Shake them, and you shake the very foundation of our inner citadel. But we, who walk the path of the Stoics, recognize this immediately. The question is not about knowledge, it is about reaction. It is about testing whether we are slaves to our emotions or masters of our minds. Epictetus teaches us, it is not events themselves that disturb us, but the judgments we make about them. Enchiridion 5. Here, the liar's question is the event. Our judgment of it, the fear, doubt, or defensiveness it may ignite, is the true battlefield. If we answer from emotion, we surrender. If we answer from reason, we triumph. The question is designed to provoke the chaotic mind. But the calm mind, the mind trained in discipline, sees it for what it is: an empty challenge, a test of endurance, a shadow of intent with no real substance. We must remind ourselves that knowledge is not only about facts, but about the control we maintain over our own thoughts. Marcus Aurelius warns, "Your mind will take the shape of what you frequently hold in thought." Meditations 5.16. The liar seeks to shape our thought by embedding doubt, fear, or confusion. But we, who are vigilant, refuse to allow external voices to sculpt our perception. We hold our thoughts like a sculptor holds clay, carefully, deliberately, without allowing unworthy hands to manipulate the form. Consider the moment this question is asked. A subtle shift in tone, a pause designed to provoke an almost imperceptible smirk of doubt. The liar is counting on your instinct to react, to defend, to justify yourself. But the Stoic path teaches a different response. Pause, observe, reflect. The liar can create no turmoil unless we supply it. Every moment we hesitate, we give them power. Every moment we act without control, we feed their game. But when we choose reflection over reaction, when we allow reason to guide our response rather than fear or pride, we reclaim sovereignty over our inner world. Seneca reminds us, "No man can be injured by another without his own consent." Letters to Lucilius 12. Here lies the secret. The liar's question can only harm us if we grant it authority over our mind. The moment we recognize that its power exists only in our judgment, the threat evaporates. It is no longer a weapon, but a mirror, a reflection of our own discipline or the lack thereof. And so we practice, not for the world's applause, not for the fleeting victory of proving ourselves right, but for the quiet, indomitable strength of our own mind. Musonius Rufus teaches that virtue is a habit cultivated through constant practice and deliberate choice. Lectures 6. Each question posed by a manipulator is a chance to reinforce this habit. Each moment we resist the urge to react. Each time we respond with calm clarity or no response at all, we fortify the fortress within. The liar's goal is to ignite destructive emotions: anger, defensiveness, anxiety, self-doubt. But these emotions are only dangerous if we entertain them. We have learned to observe them, to name them, and then to release them without surrender. The mind that remains calm in the face of manipulation is a mind that has trained itself to recognize truth from deceit, reality from illusion, control from chaos. It is a mind that understands, in the deepest sense, that external circumstances can never dictate inner peace. This is the essence of our struggle. The world will always pose questions designed to unsettle us, to provoke reactions, to test the boundaries of our patience and discipline. But the Stoic does not stumble. We do not allow the clever words of another to infiltrate the quiet citadel of our reason. We answer when necessary, not out of impulse, but from clarity. We remain silent when action would feed the liar's intent. And in doing so, we assert a power far greater than any manipulation could achieve: the power over our own mind, the sovereignty of our own judgment, and the unshakable calm that comes from mastery of self. The question, "Do you really think you understand this?" is nothing more than a mirror reflecting our own readiness, our own discipline, and our own control. The liar is not the enemy. The enemy is the lapse of reason, the surrender to emotion, the momentary weakness that allows doubt to flourish. We are warriors of the inner life. We are sculptors of fortitude. We are keepers of a mind that cannot be shaken by the cleverness of others, only by our own consent. Let us then meet this challenge not with fear nor with anger, but with the quiet, deliberate strength that defines those who have chosen the Stoic path. Let every manipulative question become an opportunity to deepen our resilience, to refine our judgment, and to prove, once more, that our freedom lies not in the world around us, but in the unassailable citadel within. Because in the end, the liar's words have no power, except the power we give them, and we give them none. There is a fourth question liars often ask, and it is more dangerous than the ones before because it is insidious, cloaked in flattery or concern. They ask, "Don't you care about what people think?" At first it seems almost reasonable, even wise. Who among us has never wrestled with the judgments of others? Yet here lies the trap. This question is not a reflection on the world or a call to virtue. It is a probe into our vulnerabilities, an attempt to awaken the very destructive emotions we have sworn to master. The liar seeks to weaponize our empathy, our pride, our desire to be understood. They wish to ignite insecurity, to make us doubt the strength of our convictions, and to unsettle the calm we have built within ourselves. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will gladly change, for I seek the truth. But if they cannot, they do not disturb me." Meditations 6.21. This is the essence of our response. The liar's question is not a request for truth. It is a challenge to our sovereignty over our own judgments. To react with fear, defensiveness, or shame is to surrender our power. To remain calm, deliberate, and anchored in reason is to assert it. We must see clearly that caring about the opinions of others is natural, but it is not essential. Epictetus teaches, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Enchiridion 1. The liar hopes to exploit our reactions. They hope that the weight of perceived judgment will bend our minds and cloud our reason. But we have trained our minds to recognize the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. The opinions of others, no matter how cleverly framed, exist outside the fortress of our reason. They cannot touch the citadel unless we allow them in. Consider the moment this question is posed. The liar smiles, feigns concern, and casts doubt upon your awareness or integrity. Don't you care what people think? It is a subtle invitation to self-doubt, a whisper meant to awaken pride or fear. Most will stumble, justify themselves, or apologize. But we, who have dedicated ourselves to fortitude, pause. We observe the motion of our thoughts, the rise of defensive impulses, and the tug of insecurity. We do not act impulsively. We respond from reason, or we remain silent. Silence is not weakness. It is deliberate strength, a refusal to participate in the liar's game. Seneca offers guidance. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Letters to Lucilius 13. The liar's question is a test of imagination. Will we imagine criticism, rejection, or shame? Will we project insecurity onto ourselves where none exists? Or will we recognize the question for what it is, a shadow, an attempt to manipulate, and remain unmoved? We understand now that the liar is never truly asking about our concern for others' opinions. They are testing our equanimity, probing for weakness. Each question is an opportunity to strengthen our inner discipline, to cultivate the virtue of self-control. Musonius Rufus reminds us, "A man is truly free when he is not enslaved to fear, desire, or opinion." Lectures 5. This is the measure of our response. If we allow the question to provoke fear or anxiety, we are enslaved. If we meet it with calm reflection, we are free. There is also a profound lesson in recognizing the liar's own weakness. The person who manipulates is often driven by insecurity, by fear of exposure, by the need to control. When we see this, the question loses its sting. It becomes not a threat, but a reflection of their limitations. Our role is not to correct them, not to justify ourselves, but to remain sovereign over our own mind. As Epictetus reminds us, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Enchiridion 1. The opinions, the judgments, and the manipulations of others exist outside our power, and therefore they are irrelevant to our inner peace. We train ourselves to meet these moments with deliberate strength. The liar's questions are designed to provoke destructive emotions, but these emotions have no foothold in the disciplined mind. Each time we resist, each time we remain calm, we reinforce our inner fortitude. We become warriors of reason, sculptors of virtue, and keepers of a mind unshakable by deceit. Let us remember, the question is not about us. It is about the liar, their desire for control, their fear of the truth, and their attempt to unsettle a mind they cannot understand. We are not called to fear, nor to defend, nor to justify. We are called to remain unmoved, to respond with clarity or silence, and to protect the sanctuary of our reason. By mastering our reaction to this question, we practice the highest Stoic discipline, self-control in the face of provocation. We assert sovereignty over our thoughts. We reject the manipulator's attempt to ignite insecurity. And in doing so, we walk the path of the Stoics, a path of freedom, inner strength, and unbreakable calm. The liar will ask. The world will test. But we will remain steadfast. Our mind, anchored in reason and fortified by discipline, cannot be shaken by the fleeting shadows of manipulation. The question passes, the provocation fades, and we emerge stronger, unbroken, and sovereign within ourselves. There is a fifth question liars ask, and it is perhaps the most dangerous because it preys upon our desire for validation and our need for certainty. Are you really as strong as you think you are? At first, it can sound almost like admiration, a subtle compliment veiled in doubt. But we, who have trained our minds in the art of reason, know the truth. This question is a snare. It is designed to provoke anger, to awaken pride, or to stir self-doubt. Its goal is not to test reality, but to test our reaction, to see if we can remain steady when someone seeks to destabilize us. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Meditations 12.36. Herein lies our guide. The liar's question only has power if we allow it. If we react with defensiveness, we surrender. If we respond with pride, we feed the manipulation. If we hesitate, We reveal the cracks they seek to exploit. But when we meet the question with calm observation, when we measure it against reason and virtue, we render it powerless. We must understand the psychology behind the manipulation. The liar knows that humans seek recognition, that we are tempted by the allure of proving ourselves. They know that a subtle challenge to our strength, when framed as doubt, will ignite a storm of emotion if we are unprepared. They rely on our instinct to defend, to justify, to assert dominance in response. But the Stoic path is not to assert, but to master. Musonius Rufus said, "The good man is steadfast, not swayed by praise or insult, by pleasure or pain." Lectures 5. Strength is shown not in reaction, but in restraint. Picture the moment this question is asked. A shadow of doubt, carefully placed. A tone designed to provoke. Most will feel the urge to respond immediately, to argue, to display proof of their strength. But the Stoic pauses. We examine the intention behind the words. We recognize that the liar seeks not truth, but disruption. And disruption, we know, is only effective when we allow it. Our mind, disciplined and vigilant, does not allow the liar to dictate its state. Seneca offers clarity. A man's greatness lies not in being able to crush others, but in conquering himself. Letters to Lucilius 76. Here, the lesson is profound. True strength is not measured by what others think of us, nor by the power we can display externally. It is measured by the calmness with which we meet provocation, the clarity with which we distinguish reason from manipulation, and the unshakable mastery of our own judgment. The liar's question also teaches us a vital lesson. The world will always attempt to test us. It will question our abilities, our character, our resilience. It will seek to provoke destructive emotions because that is the nature of human conflict. But we are not subject to the whims of others. Epictetus instructs, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." Enchiridion 1. Our power lies in our response. Their words, their doubts, their provocations exist outside of it. Thus, we train ourselves to meet this question with deliberate calm. We do not need to prove ourselves to anyone. We do not need to display our strength or justify our stability. The liar's doubt is a reflection of their own weakness, not ours. To recognize this is to reclaim sovereignty over our mind. To remain unmoved is to practice the highest form of Stoic discipline, freedom from external control. Every time we resist the pull of this manipulative question, we reinforce our inner fortitude. Each moment of restraint strengthens the citadel of our reason. We begin to see that true power is not shown in reaction, but in presence, an unbroken, quiet, and resolute mastery over our own mind. The liar may continue to test, to prod, to question, but the Stoic remains immovable, sovereign, and free.